How did this happen to me? Stage 3B, aggressive invasive, possible lymph nodes, possible it's so far along, you probably have about a 20% chance of living. Do you know what pain is? Let me tell you. Radiation and chemo, nothing is as bad as chemo. They take you this close to being dead. That's what they do. They poison you. They take you. They want to kill every bad cell they can find. They took 14 lymph nodes, bilateral mastectomies, and all of a sudden there I am with, you know, scraped to the bone because it was such a big lesion, and they found smaller lesions in the other side. And it did. It aged me overnight. This has been the biggest gift back other than my life. He wouldn't let me alone. Usually he just pulls the blanket off my shoulder and meows at me, get up, feed me. He kept kneading with his head, butting against me, clawing at my chest, and he just wouldn't stop. And I finally pushed him away and rolled over just in the right position. He pushed really hard with his head, and this tumor popped to the surface. And I went, wow, holy smokes. It was huge, 9 centimeters, it turns out, we find later. But I felt that, and it was tender, and I woke my husband and said, Steve, you've got to feel this. It was huge.
Linda realized to her horror that it had been 3 years since she'd had a mammogram.
How did this happen to me? I know better. This can't possibly happen to me. And it did, because I got busy in my life and taking care of other people, being a caregiver. I didn't take care of myself. They took 14 lymph nodes, bilateral mastectomies. It was like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, boom, we're just there. And so within a matter of a few days, I had to go through all that trauma, and all of a sudden there I am with, you know, scraped to the bone because it was such a big lesion, and they found smaller lesions in the other side.
Once she was diagnosed, she discovered she had 5 generations of breast cancer in her family, and she didn't know it.
At first, it was devastating, but you know what was worse for me? I had waist-length, long hair, and my hair was part of that image too. Very thick, beautiful, strawberry blonde, waist-length hair. That's what was the hardest for me to lose, was my hair. And now it's just so fine, and so you can see it's very difficult. I'm having a harder time dealing with the loss of my hair and the aging, the whole overall aging, plus losing my figure. And it did. It aged me overnight.
It's dear to all women's heart and everyone's heart. All of us know someone who either has breast cancer now, that's newly diagnosed, or we've lost family members or friends from breast cancer. I picked Linda for a couple reasons. She was passionate in the interview. She had a wonderful story that I actually fell in love with. To pick someone that was excited about what we do, passionate about their life, and she's got a second chance on life. And when you think about it, it's pretty cool. And I have been so lucky. Yes, I've worked hard, and I love what I do, and I'm passionate about dermatology, but I've done this 25 years, and 10 years with Caramia Medical Day Spa, and we have a successful spa, we have a successful dermatology practice, and I'm going to be 54 pretty soon, and it's time that we give something back to the community and thank the community that's been so good to myself and to my staff and to my family.
The thing that's been devastating about what's happened through the cancer treatment, the chemo, the radiation, and of course because of the hormonal changes and things that you go through with all of this.
Absolutely.
It's aged me very drastically, very fast.
What would you like to change?
I would like to get rid of this stuff.
Okay.
I'd like to get rid of these saggy eyelids.
Okay.
I'd like to get rid of the brown spots.
It's an emotional toll,
And an
not just a
emotional toll,
physical
too.
toll. Absolutely.
I look in the mirror and I don't know me. I look like my mother.
I'm sure we're going to use some Botox. I'm sure we're going to use some fillers to fill in some of the lines and to reshape her face a little bit, give her a little bit higher cheekbone. And I look forward to doing that with her, and I think she's going to be just a great candidate. But as important as pushing the clock back 5 to 10 years, what we want to do is maintain it. So we're going to teach her how to take care of her skin. We're going to talk to her about products. We're going to talk to her about sunscreen. What are the important antioxidants to incorporate it into her program? We're going to have our esthetician talk to her about, if she doesn't want to wear makeup, simple powder, but the things that she needs to do to protect herself so she doesn't end up back here in 20 to 30 years. So what you have is some red broken blood vessels. And we do have a laser called V-beam that we can improve those blood vessels. There's a new technology called the Fraxel laser, and it's a CO2 laser, but you would have 7 to 14 days of downtime. And I think that might be a way to go with you, because what the Fraxel would do is help tighten. It won't get rid of the heavy eyelids completely. You would really need to see a plastic surgeon and actually do what's called a blepharoplasty, where that skin is removed, but it will tighten it up. It will tighten right up in here. It will get rid of the brown and the red. It will really tighten up some of those lines there. And then when you look here, you have some crepiness there in your skin. It will tighten that up quite a bit. So with one laser treatment in 7 to 14 days of being a little red and puffy and oozy, you can get improvement in red, improvement in brown, some tightening of the skin, get rid of some of the fine lines and the crepiness. I'm excited. I am too. I think it's going to be a fun journey for both of us.
This will be awesome.
She really was the only choice. After interviewing 3 or 4 people, I just kept coming back to Linda, because she stole my heart on that first interview. And what she's done with her life is so emotional and so special that I'm just excited to be part of that.
Linda and her husband have pitched in together to create Bald Lady Coffee, a fundraiser for women undergoing cancer treatments.
My husband and I, even though I work in another industry, he and I, my name's on it, but he runs a coffee roasting and import business. And we do a lot of fundraising with our coffee. There are plenty of people who can't afford mammograms, who when they're in chemo can't afford daycare for their kids, who can't afford those $100 pills that make you feel better. That shouldn't happen. We will to write checks directly to a survivor. We want to take care of the people who can't afford it themselves. We want to take care of an individual cancer survivor or caregiver. My husband, I also say, saved my life, because he was there the night I hit the wall, and everybody tells you about the night you quit and you're not going to do it again. And he said, I quit. I couldn't. I was so weak I couldn't make it to the bathroom. Wrapped me in a comforter and held me while I was convulsive all night. And I said, I quit, and he wouldn't let me. He said, no, you're not going to. You're not giving up. I'm not letting go of you. And it was my Steve that got me through it. And I thank God for him. My #1 wish list is that this opportunity will give me a chance to get out in the public, be in the public eye, and say, this disease can be stopped. You don't have to look like this. You don't have to go through this. Here's what I looked like then. I can look at this now. There are things you can do. Can't hide your face. So I would love to have my youth back. Wouldn't we all? One on the right side, for some reason, has just fallen apart. It wasn't quite done right to begin with, but it's falling down. I think it's turned sideways, and I'm even suspicious that it may be leaking. It always looks very awful. And I see people looking, and they won't say anything because people are polite.
It's insult unto injury that...
It is. I hate being vain, because I'm alive, but it really does help. When you get up in the morning and you look at yourself, and I'm like 10 years older and my boobs falling off, and I know I'm going to have to go out and spend the day in front of the public. And he's been in Woman's World magazine, he's been on TV, that he's the cat that found my cancer. And unfortunately, this last week, a week ago yesterday, he disappeared. We suspect that it may not have been a nice ending. And so this is a nice timing. It'll ease that pain.
If we have just one woman that finds breast cancer in herself and she catches it early, after this program, or one patient or one person that finds a malignant melanoma or does a skin exam and finds a dark mole and they catch early and it saves their life, it's a home run.
This has been the biggest gift back other than my life.